Thanks for joining us on this Thursday. I'm Sam Shocker. As these dry days continue, the list of communities putting their own water conservation measures into place is only growing. By the time we get to summer, there will likely be plenty of brown lawns out there. 9 News reporter Shalima Maharaj has the details on the new cities joining this list.
It's a story we've been following very closely over the last several weeks, speaking to Aurora Water and to Denver Water about their plan of action this season. And Aurora Water, of course, is saying that they are looking at the possibility of enacting those stage 1 restrictions. Denver, meanwhile, taking that step. Now, the Denver Board of Water Commissioners made that stage 1 drought declaration at their meeting on Wednesday. Denver Water says this is the first time since 2013, beyond their usual summer water rules, the water restrictions are being imposed. They are looking to see a 20% reduction in water use. To do that, single-family homes are being asked to only water outside 2 days a week. And you have to follow a set schedule. If you don't, you'll have to face the consequences, and those include fines and enforcement. Now, whether to implement stage 1 restrictions in Aurora, that goes to City Council on April 6th. If it passes, a similar measure would go into effect the following day.
The first violation is a warning. If they fail to correct that violation, they have reoccurring violations. There is an escalating fine. It starts at $125 for a fine, and it goes up from there. Service interruption is a possibility. So we really want people to comply.
We're asking people to make an effort this time around to avoid setting those sprinklers until late May. That's how serious the situation here in Colorado and in the Front Range is with our snowpack.
In the meantime, Aurora Water says they're using an AMI system in order to track water meters. So they're going to get alerts if there's any sort of unusual amount of water use going on. If you are worried about a leak, we are told that you can go to their online billing portal and register for leak alerts. Now, they're also going to have crews out patrolling neighborhoods. So clearly this is a serious and continually evolving situation in communities all along the Front Range. Reporting in Denver, Shalima Maharaj, 9 News.
All right, Shalima, thank you. While it is pretty out there today, blue skies, very little cloud coverage. Well, it is warm once again, but we do have a front coming our way. It's going to be a lot cooler tomorrow, but will there be any moisture that comes out of it? Meteorologist Chris Bianchi here with the answer. Hey, Chris.
Hey, yeah, and part of that front's already moved through. As I mentioned, we've had a piece of that front that's going to keep those temperatures capped today, probably only topping out around 70 to 72 in the metro area. Though South Metro area could be in the 75 to 80 degree realm. A little complicated here, but off in the distance, I want to draw your attention to the wind kicking up some dust. Watch out for areas of blowing dust later today on the eastern plains. And remember, if you get underneath one of those patches, if you're driving an I-70 and things are fine, then you get a rush of wind and you get a blowing dust, turn on those hazards, get off the road as soon as possible. If you got an exit, just get off the highway, sit it out for a minute. If not, pull over as far to the right as possible, and again, have those hazards on, because again, we had that that horrific incident earlier this year near Pueblo with that blowing dust that led to multiple fatalities. Just worth keeping that in mind today with some blowing dust that'll be around. Here in Denver, temperatures mostly in the 70s around town, low to mid 70s here in downtown Denver, 68 out at the airport. We are still talking about some slightly cooler conditions today compared to yesterday, but you notice Southeast Colorado, 93 already. That is wild there in Lamar. That is some prefrontal. We're getting some compressional warming, cold fronts approaching from the north, and that is increasing the speed of the air movement right there in southeastern Colorado. Results is it's in the 90s there, 70s in the mountains for the most part. But there's that cold front moving its way through Wyoming. This will push through later today with a chance for some showers and some rumbles of thunder later on this evening. I'll tell you about that in just a couple minutes.
All right, Chris, thank you. A man who worked as a nursery supervisor at a church in Fort Lupton faces more than 24 counts of sexual assault on a child in his care. The Weld County Sheriff's Office says 36-year-old Jesus Chacon sexually assaulted the victim several times over a period of 4 years. The girl told deputies the assaults happened at his home and at the church. Detectives later learned he supervised the nursery at the church where he had been responsible for the victim. Thornton police are looking for the person who killed a man late last night. Officers were called a little before 11 to the area near 88th and Grant. A person was bleeding, but police did not give details on the wound. The 29-year-old man was taken to the hospital where he later died. If you can help the investigation, call Thornton police. The Red Cross is helping 5 people who are now displaced after their home caught fire this morning. Crews were called about 5 a.m. to the 1700 block of North Ironton Street, which is near 17th Avenue, just east of Havana. They do not know how this started, but it didn't take long to get it under control, and thankfully no one was hurt. It's been 4 years since the creation of Colorado's Missing Indigenous Persons Alert, and already it's being used a lot. In 2025, 67 alerts were issued, the most of any statewide alert, and it looks like there will be even more this year. Advocates believe awareness is helping.
More than one Native person goes missing a week in the state of Colorado. Now we have the validation that it is a problem, and so now it's that extra ask of how do we fix this?
Advocates say there's still work to do in educating law enforcement to issue alerts faster and more clearly. They add that the alerts don't always include the person's tribal affiliation, which could speed up the search process.